Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Watching the Boxes Fantasy Basketball Podcast, hosted by #basketball.com, your home, the very best fantasy basketball tools and articles on the internet. You could go all over the internet all day long instead of working, quit your job, spend, I'm going to say 18 hours a day, 19 hours a day. You're only going to sleep for 5 days. And all those 19 hours, you're going to look throughout the internet looking for a better fantasy basketball site. It's not going to happen. So don't do those things. It's a really dumb idea to do those things. Just go to #basketball.com. It's really simple. I'm your host, Mike Catron, and joining me, as always, is my co-host, Tyler Watts. What's up, Tyler?
Michael, you must introduce me by my proper name.
Tyler, the Lord of the Land. Is that what you're going by now?
No, the dominator of our All-Star Challenge.
Tyler, is it a two-time winner of the All-Star Challenge?
I believe so, Mike. Gonna be 3 for 3.
All-time winner, two-time winner. But that is right, Tyler. We are doing our annual All-Star draft for all you degenerate gamblers out there who like to hang out and watch the game with their friends. We suggest going and starting this draft with your friends if you're going to watch the game. Doesn't have to be 2 people. Could be 4. Could be 5. And after 5, I think that's too many. You can't do too many more people than that. Everybody's got to get at least 3 or 4 players. But what we do every year is we draft the entirety of the All-Star lineup, and we only go by points. It's a little too hard to do points, rebounds, assists, blocks, all that stuff, and calculate it all. I'm not doing all that. I don't have time for that, Tyler. It'd probably be really easy if we just put it in a spreadsheet in Excel, but I'm not going to plug Microsoft products on the show, so I'm not going to do it.
Well, I mean, we can't change the format now. After I've dominated you for so long, we gotta stay tried and true here.
That's true. I need my revenge, and maybe if I win this year, you'll actually win the listener league this year. So I think that seems to coincide because last year I won the listener league, but I lost the All-Star draft. So that was a rough time for me from February till the end of the year, but then I was in a much better mood after that.
Oh, fair enough.
We did want to really quickly talk about something going on in the actual fantasy basketball world, the return of Kevin Love. I think a lot of people might be surprised that Kevin Love is back this early. He only played like a couple minutes the other night, but he is set to basically play a couple games before the All-Star break, that's what I'm surprised by, is that they put him back in for 16 minutes against the Knicks tonight. He had 14 and 9, which is pretty good in 16 minutes, if you ask me. And it looks like probably by the end of the All-Star break, he's going to be kind of ready to go. So, I'm expecting most people they probably still have Kevin Love on their team, just sitting there on the roster. So I don't expect too many people to move off of Kevin Love. But Tyler, what do you just think about the rest of the year for Kevin Love?
Well, I mean, assuming Kevin Love doesn't get hurt, which that's a crazy assumption. I don't know, a difficult assumption to make. You never really know with Kevin Love. What we saw in the early part of the season was him playing, basically 34 minutes every game. He was shooting 6 3-point attempts per game. Now this is a limited 4-game sample size, obviously. But he was getting a crazy amount of rebounds and throwing down like 20 points. So we're probably looking at Kevin Love being the same old Kevin Love. He's going to shoot a lot of threes. He's going to get a lot of rebounds. He's going to score a lot of points. This Cavs team doesn't really have much else. So, they're going to let Kevin Love do Kevin Love things. Could he be back to his Minnesota days? I don't know about all that. I don't really see him getting 14 rebounds a game. He's probably more in that 10, 11 range. But could he score 20 points again? I think that's definitely possible.
Yeah, he's Probably, I mean, wants to play basketball. Like he came back in a year that the Cavs really don't need to win any more games. So I'm not too worried about the Cavs losing, even with Kevin Love on the floor. But we talked about this at the beginning of the year. Kevin Love probably not returning to his Minnesota days. We thought that was kind of out of question. And I agree with you, Tyler. I don't think that's going to happen. It's going to take a while for Kevin Love to spin up. But he's a standard league relevant player. So if you have room on your roster and he's actually out on the waiver wires, like pick him up absolutely immediately. But I think it's safe after the All-Star break to take him off IR if he's still sitting there on your IR list and get him back in the rotation. I think he's going to be probably a factor for some of those teams that held on to him this long.
Yeah, no doubt. And if he's for some reason available, or maybe you can buy him for real cheap.
Yeah,
that's probably not a bad move either.
Might still be a buy low candidate, perhaps. If the person is kind of tired of Kevin Love or doesn't want him to get doesn't think his slow start is worth it. And I honestly just don't think I'm too worried about it. I think if someone rostered Kevin Love this long, they're probably gonna play it out, I would guess.
Always a wise strategy to play it out.
Yeah, might as well. I think I'm down with that. Other than that, not a whole lot going on in the fantasy world. I guess you did see a handful of games going on tonight. I don't think there's anything too crazy going on. Yeah, no, I'm not really seeing anything too glaring that we need to get into. I'm just delaying the inevitable, Tyler, because I am looking up the roster for the All-Star game because since I prepared so well on this, and we decided before the show that I would be doing the honors. I'd be taking the first pick. Are you still okay with that, Tyler?
Michael, I have a feeling you're going to make a mistake even with the first pick, so I'm going to let you have it.
Listen, I don't make mistakes. This is a tough year. I think it's. I love the draft format. I like that they did. I actually think they saved the players from themselves by doing you have to draft the starters first. I thought that was kind of cheap. I thought you should be able to draft like Anthony Davis before everybody else. I thought that was a little unfair that you couldn't pick Anthony Davis with like the third pick.
Well, and are there rules going into this about like who's going to play what minutes? Like it's just up to Coach Budenholzer and Malone, right? Like,
yeah, I don't think I mean, there wasn't much of there wasn't really much of rules about starts and playing time or anything like that last year. So I don't know why there would be this year, even though Wade and Dirk are on. It's like there's going to be a stint where Wade and Dirk get on the floor, I assume, and go at it. That'd be fun.
Yeah, and I mean, it's the All-Star game. Usually everybody plays for the most part, and we've seen a couple times where someone's only played a few minutes. But that's usually because of injury, or a couple years it was because of trade. But no one's going to be able to trade now, right? Because they moved the trade deadline up. So it was mostly just because of a nagging injury or something, which doesn't appear to be happening now. We still have till Thursday before the games end. So maybe someone pulls up a little lame or something. But I think these guys are pretty much going to be fair game to play as many minutes as they needed.
Was the 2017 All-Star game the year DeMarcus Cousins got traded?
Yes.
So he played a couple minutes, and then he sat out the rest of the game, and everybody's like, what's going on here? And then it turned out he got traded. I assume that's why they moved the trade deadline. They don't want that to happen ever again.
Yes, I would guess.
I'm going to go look at that game. That game ended up being 192 to 182, which is the average score of a current regular season game this year. So that's a hell of a high-scoring game.
Yeah, that's crazy talk.
Because last year, Team LeBron versus Team Steph, 148 to 145. So a little bit tighter of a competition. That actually sounds like the score of the Bulls-Wizards game the other night. I think it was 140 to 128 or something.
Yeah, I mean, it gets crazy. These All-Star games always get crazy. Yeah, Boogie played 2 minutes. So what we've been seeing, and it's not even always the starters that play the most minutes. Like Paul George played more minutes as a reserve than LeBron and Jimmy Butler did as starters in 2017. So, but we see pretty much everybody play somewhere between 17 and 25 minutes for the most part on most of the All-Star teams.
Yeah, I think the starters get like 3 to 4 extra minutes simply because they're playing at the end of the game and nobody's coming out. But like, it does seem that they do divvy up the minutes pretty fairly.
Actually, last year, a starter, there was a bench player who played more than a starter on both sides. There was actually 2 bench players on Team Steph that played more than the starter. Joel Embiid played only 20 minutes, and Kyle Lowry played 20 and a half. Steph Curry played 20 and a half, and Damian Lillard played almost 21. There was actually 3. And then Anthony Davis only played 16 for the Team LeBron, and Paul George played 26. Andre Drummond played 17, and Bradley Beal actually just edged him out too at 16:51.
So there's kind of a little rhyme and reason, but I think it's pretty wide open. So I'm gonna kick it off, Tyler. I'm ready. I think I figured out my exact strategy. I know exactly who is going to score the most points on all of these teams, or both of these teams, and I am going to go with one of the captains of one of the teams.
Big mistake, bro.
At all, because this captain built his team around him being the All-Star Game MVP. I'm talking about Giannis Antetokounmpo. He is going to get wet with it and show up the entire league. It's his coming out party. It's his MVP season. He's going for it.
Oh, Michael, you've made a big mistake. You have done yourself in. You have totally screwed the pooch.
Not at all.
Already.
Not at all.
It's fair to say I think I may have already won this.
I don't think so, but you give it your best shot.
Okay, so you are going for Giannis.
Yeah, he's going to be dunking. People are going to be just throwing the ball out there. He's going to be dunking all over everybody. It's going to be embarrassing. People are going to be falling over in their seats. He's going to drop maybe 50 points.
Fair. We actually did see Anthony Davis have a 52-point game in 2017.
That's true. And in that game, Giannis had 30 points.
Right, so it's not out of the question that things could get wild.
Do you think the current Anthony Davis situation is going to play a factor into his minutes in the All-Star game?
Well, his coach is the coach, right?
No,
Mike is coaching.
Mike Malone is coaching Anthony Davis, actually.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you meant Giannis.
Oh yeah, no, Giannis. That Bud's gonna play Giannis. He's gonna give him that MVP.
So yeah. So the Anthony Davis thing, no, I don't think any of that makes any difference in the All-Star game. He's gonna play right around what everyone else plays, I think. So the only guy to play over 30 minutes in the All-Star game last year was who, Mike?
I do not know. Probably some old fart.
It is an old fart, and it's going to be my pick. I'm going to go with the other captain. I feel like he's going to lead his team in scoring this year. It's LeBron James.
Wow, captains right off the board.
You realize LeBron
made a huge mistake.
LeBron led the game in scoring last year with 29 points.
That's very clever and beautiful, but LeBron coming off an injury. LeBron might go for 30 assists because he wants every single one of these guys in his starting five to come play with him. So he's going to be convincing them that he's not going to run them out of town, blame them for everything, just like he did with Kevin Love, just like he did with everybody else he's ever played with. He wants them to come play with him, and he's going to be buttering them up. He's going to be passing the ball all day. That was the worst.
He played with like half the same team last year, maybe more than half. And he led the team in scoring, right?
He didn't want to. He didn't want to pass the ball to any of them. Apparently.
So we're gonna have.
That was when he didn't want them on his team. He was going for finals.
Okay. We're gonna have a fun chat about a player that I think you're gonna pick pretty early. That I think is a mistake.
I am picking a very particular player here. This player is known for being the current scoring champion of the NBA. His name is James Harden, and he is going to shoot 32 threes. He's just going to chuck. It's going to be great.
Oh, so James Harden last year, 5 of 19 in the game.
Not great. Not great. But he shot 13 three-pointers.
And this is where I was going with this. I think Harden.
That's what I want.
No, that's a big mistake. I will say this. I don't even think he's the second leading scorer on Team LeBron.
Oh, man. All right.
I am going to counter with the process himself, Joel Embiid.
Ooh, excellent choice. Joel Embiid, big man.
Who is going to lead Team Giannis in scoring? You heard it here first. Leading Team Giannis in scoring.
Interesting. All right. I think that's a good start. Embiid was next on my list. I'm a little sad to see him not drop. I thought there would be some other players out there that you might be more interested in, Tyler. And now it starts to kind of even out because any of these guys can go off, obviously.
Well, and what's crazy is in a lot of games, if you look back, they all take very similar shot attempts. Like they're all right around like 11 to 13 shot attempts. So it's just who's making on the night.
Yeah, it just happens to be who is hitting. And I like that. You know what? James Harden is playing the best basketball of his entire career right now, which is saying a lot because he's played very, very good basketball. So I really, really like my pick so far. Joel Embiid is going to be dunking all over everybody, but so is Giannis. So I think that's going to be a tough sell between those two. All right. This is where it gets a little interesting, but I'm going to go with my strategy, and I'm going to go with someone who could score, 20 points in a quarter. His name is Steph Curry, and he could hit 23s in this game, theoretically, and set all sorts of records.
So you know my love for Steph Curry.
You are a Steph Curry lover. I know that.
But Steph Curry in the All-Star game, he had 11 points last year. He's had a 12-point game and a 15-point game. Now, he has had 2 20-point games, but...
And once again, go take a look. 3 for 11 from three-point. If he hits 7, that's a whole other ballgame.
All right. I'll give you that one. I'm going to go with Mr. Kevin Durant.
Oh, excellent choice. Another guy that was next on my list. We are very close right here. Why do you like Durant?
I just feel like Durant's another guy who can get real hot. He can score the ball in a lot of different ways. And I feel like in the All-Star game, he's probably going to get fed a little bit here. They're going to want, him in the game late, which just matters too. He had a run where he had 4 straight All-Star games where he had over 30 points. So I like that.
That's nice.
And if you look at it, okay, so he only played 10 minutes the one year, and I'm not really sure why that was. That was a few years back. I don't really remember. But every other year, he has been over 20, except for last year where he only scored 19. So I feel pretty good about getting 20 points from Kevin Durant.
I like that. That is a good choice. And now I am in between 2 interesting characters. But you know what? Ooh. Now I need to go do a little bit of research because I think one of these players, I don't know if he just got hurt or if he just tweaked something. Just tweak something. That means I am going to go with Paul George. I'm sticking with my theory that one of these guys, Harden, Curry, or Paul George, is going to drop 10 plus threes in this game. And that's all I'm going to need. I'm just going to need 2 out of these 3 guys to hit like 6 3-pointers. And I'm good. I'm good to go. That's a ton of points. 3s are worth more than 2s, Tyler. The league has changed.
I'm disappointed in that pick because I thought you were going to let him slip.
And he was about to, but there is a pending knee injury out for one of the starters, and I'm not going to tell you who.
It is Kyrie Irving. Now, come on. You act like I don't know more about this game than you, Mike. I'm trying to keep a hold of this title. And I thought you were going to go Irving because Irving has not been great in the All-Star games. Now, he has a 30-point game. He has a 20-point game, but he's lots of games in the All-Star game where he's only like at 10 points. I felt like you were going to make the mistake, Mike. Felt like you were going to do it, and you let me down.
Didn't happen. Not going to happen. Kyrie Irving might get picked after some of the reserves at this rate.
So I am disappointed in that. I am very, very disappointed in that.
Now, there are no rules. We don't have to pick the starters before the reserves and Dirk, and you can pick Dirk and Wade anytime you want.
Well, and I felt like that one of the particular starters was going to go much later to begin with. And I won't name any names. So I feel like now two of the starters might be dropping down the board, which isn't good. And another starter, now it's only 2 All-Star games, has a very poor shooting track record in the All-Star game. So that could be a very interesting pick as well. So now for when things get difficult, I am going to have to go for one Mr. Anthony Davis next.
That is another excellent choice. I'm very sad to see Anthony Davis go off the board. A little risky just due to his current situation, but I'm not too worried about that. He's going to be coming off the bench, and here's the thing with Anthony Davis. He's enormous, he's athletic, and he likes to dunk the ball in people's faces. There's going to be a lot of garbage dunks for Anthony Davis, and those points add up pretty quickly in the All-Star game.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, now you've gone and done it, Tyler. Now this is becoming a tough cookie because we are kind of getting to the group of players who are all like good.
It's gonna very much matter about minutes here coming up.
Yes, it is really going to matter about minutes. So I'm kind of looking to see is there any weird guys out here? Well, it's kind of a toss-up, and I am going to go with someone who has no chill, who doesn't know how to take it easy. I'm going to go with a guy who will come out here and be gunning, who'll be taking the ball to the rim, will be dunking as hard as humanly possible. His name is Russell Westbrook, and every single time he gets in an All-Star game, he is a psychopath. And he just runs to the basket and dunks. He takes the ball. He doesn't pass the ball. He's great for this particular format. I'm taking Russ Westbrook.
Oh, Michael, another bad pick.
That is false.
He only had 11 points last year, but then he had 41, 31, 41 the 3 years before that.
That does not sound like a bad pick.
That is a great pick. That is a great pick. But I have a feeling that Mr. Russell Westbrook, could even edge Kemba Walker in the minutes here. I was kind of hoping he slipped a little bit, but I'm staying tried and true to my strategy. I feel like that was still not the right move. And I am going to go with one Mr. Damian Lillard next.
Oh, man, you're reading. You must have looked at my notes.
Oh, dude, Lillard gonna be firing those 3-pointers. Lillard always gets a little spicy in the All-Star game. I feel like he could have a good game. I feel like he could drop 20. I'm feeling great about that Damian Lillard pick.
That's a very good pick. That is a very eerily similar to my Curry, Paul, and Harden strategy. If Dame gets hot, and he'll put up some numbers.
Plus, he could also somehow move into that starting spot, maybe with old Kyrie.
Now you're thinking one step ahead. I don't know how that would work.
Like, because they're gonna replace him with an East person, right?
I guess so. They're gonna have to replace him with an East
because they did that with Victor Oladipo, right? They replaced him with D'Angelo Russell.
Yeah.
So it's got to be an East player. But then does Ben Simmons move into the starting lineup, or do they let
Who decides that? LeBron? I mean, they were trading picks during the draft. There was no rules, really. It's all just whatever the players want to do. Nobody seems to care.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work. And maybe we need an official ruling. I feel like this might be rigged. This might be conspiracy.
All right, well, let's decide it now. If Kyrie Irving gets replaced, or if any of these players really get replaced before then, but if Kyrie Irving is replaced, whoever drafts him gets his replacement.
Yeah, whoever his replacement is. Like, if we would have done this when the thing was announced and someone picked Victor Oladipo, you just get D'Angelo Russell's points.
That's not bad. That's not a bad trade-off.
Right? And so there's no, like, not anyone in the game, right? Because someone's always going to get replaced. So you're just going to get whoever. So if someone in the West goes down, you know what I mean? It might be whoever gets in the game. That's just who you get. You get who you get.
You get who you get. Those are the rules. All right. Back to the draft. Man, we're in a kind of a tough spot because I know who I don't want to draft.
Oh, I've got my eye on two guys. So I feel like
don't know who I want to draft.
I'm feeling pretty strong about both of these men.
Well, I'm going to go with a guy, listen, he's starting for a reason.
Oh, this is your mistake. This is your one. He's
starting for a reason. There's a lot of good players out there. There's not a lot of great players hanging out on the bench. There's a couple still good ones left. But he's starting for a reason. More minutes is a fantasy rule. More minutes, more points. I'm going with Kawhi Leonard.
Kawhi Leonard, in his 2 All-Star games, has a combined 21 points, Michael.
That does not matter to me. He was injured for quite a while.
Not looking strong, though, in those 2 All-Star games.
You are manipulating facts, sir.
And that's the other thing that worried me about picking Kawhi is, they still give him those games off for the load management. How keen are the Raptors going to be for him to play even 25 minutes? So he's probably going to be the starter playing 20 minutes, right? We see a starter play 20 minutes every year. I have a feeling on Team LeBron, Kawhi is going to be the guy whose minutes lag.
Could be right.
So that was what was.
Hey, 15 points is pretty average. If he gets me 15 points with my 6th pick, all right, cool.
So that's what scared me away there. All right, now this guy has taken 11 shots in 3 out of his 4 All-Star games.
Wow, okay.
10 of those being 3-pointers in 2 of his All-Star games, and he shot 9 in the other one. Okay? So I'm feeling pretty good about 10 3-point attempts flying from this guy's fingers. And he may be the 2nd best shooter in the history of the league.
Oh, I've heard of this guy.
So I am going to go with Mr. Klay Thompson.
That is a fairly good choice. I might have lost it here in the middle rounds. You have a pretty stacked team, Tyler.
I'm going to just keep building here. I'm just going to keep building.
80 and 80 along with Dame and Clay. That's a good rounds 3 through 6. Yeah, that's pretty good. Looks a little bit better than my rounds 3 through 6. That's depressing.
I've got a guy circled on my list too right now, and I'm hoping you're not smart enough to take him.
I might not be. There's 2 guys who I have circled on my list, but I don't have anyone that's it's terribly like a fun big man. I don't have a fun big man on my team. The problem is, which fun big man do I want? Now, there does seem to be a lack of big men on one of these teams.
That could hinder one of these teams.
Yeah, and that doesn't bode well.
I don't know. I feel like the big men are kind of fairly split. The starting lineup on one team has no big man. I mean, LeBron is going to be the center.
LeBron's the center, and that's why I think
That's why I think my Joel Embiid pick was that much better.
I think that was a good pick, and I think that's why I'm going to go with Karl Anthony Towns here.
But I feel like on the bench, I mean, they got AD and Cat. So if they want to go big, they can go big. Plus, they got LaMarcus Aldridge, and the other team's got Joel Embiid starting. Then they got Jokic on the bench. They got Vucevic. Like, they can go big, too, if they want to go big.
They should go real big. They should play all three centers. That'd be a lot of fun.
Cat was very high on my list. I will have to admit. Cat was near the top of my list.
There's no center on that team. He might come in a little bit early, might play a little extra minutes.
No, Anthony Davis is on that team now. Come on. Anthony Davis can play center in this game.
I guess he can play. Anthony Davis doesn't like to play center is what I...
Anthony Davis likes to have a wine now and then, but he'll be fine.
All right, who do you got next?
Okay, so one of these teams has many less players chosen from them than the other team right now.
Okay.
And that is a mistake, right? Because we know the game's going to be relatively close, right?
It should be.
So you messed up your big man choice, Michael.
Might have.
Because you wanted a big man and you knew you needed a big man, but you forgot to take the big man on the team where there's not that many guys been picked yet. So I think you know where I'm going with this.
I think I do.
I am going to have to go with a first-time All-Star, which is always a little bit scary.
That is scary.
In the All-Star Challenge. But it is one, Mr. Nikola Jokic.
Wow. Now, I think Jokic, he's going to be excited to be playing in the game, right? But sometimes those first-time All-Stars, they don't get off. They kind of are overlooked a little bit too into the season. And Jokic is not like a high-flying dunk all-star.
Yeah, but he's going to be shooting. He's going to be shooting them three balls, I'm feeling.
He is going to shoot some threes. And I actually thought you were going to go with a different big on this team, and that I'm going to sneak right up.
No, that's a mistake.
The dunk man extraordinaire. Getting blasted back to his former glory. Blake Griffin. Point Blake, he's going to be dunking all over everybody. He ain't going to be point blank. He's going to be dunking Blake.
Now, his All-Star game... He's
going to clean up on the second team. Just clean up everybody.
I'm not sure that we can consider this, but the last All-Star game was in 2014, so it's been a long time. But he did drop 38 points, and he had 19 and 22 in the two before that.
Playing the best basketball in a long time.
But you made another mistake here because the man you wanted to pick was another three-point specialist, and that was Mr. Bradley Beal, which is who I'm going to take with the next pick.
That is a good pick.
Beal's going to get like 10 three-pointers too, and we both know Brad Beal can hit a lot of threes, buddy.
That is exactly who I wanted to take next. So I'm going to have to take someone who's starting in the game. His name is Kemba Walker. Tyler, he's starting. Shoot a ton of threes.
Good for him.
He's going to play a ton of minutes. He's going to shoot a ton of threes. He's probably going to make more. I think he's going to score more points than Bradley Beal. Because Bradley Beal isn't going to play as much as Kemba Walker.
Kemba Walker in his two All-Star games, 7 and 11 points.
Yo, shout out to Kemba Walker for making the All-Star game. 3-time All-Star. A 2-time NBA Sportsmanship Award winner. Thank you for that stat, NBA.com.
So now it's really starting to get interesting, right? We got one starter left.
Yeah.
But we're not sure that starter's going to play.
Not even sure he's going to play. But he's
not even
willing to take that risk.
He's not even the first reserve, right? Because D'Angelo Russell was the first reserve in the East.
That's
already
true.
In the game. So if he doesn't play, you get the second reserve in the East, which we can already agree was a little bit worse crop to begin with. So that's kind of scary. But the options left are, fair to say, less than great.
Getting slim. This is, if you go look at a lot of these old All-Star games, there are about 3 to 4 people who score 7 or less points on each team. So we're almost to that. We're almost there.
So the guy I'm going to go with next is Kyle Lowry. And Here's his
fair.
3-point. Here's his 3-point shots in his 4 All-Star games: 11, 12, 9, 8. And he only shot 8 last year, I think, because he missed all 8. And he was like, "I'm not shooting anymore."
It was 0-for-8.
So I feel good about him maybe chucking up 10 threes. And if he can just hit 4, it'll be a good day for me with Mr. Kyle Lowry.
I like that. That's a very good pick. He's at least gonna give it the old college try. So I respect the Kyle Lowry pick here. And now, we're really getting tight here. You still got Kyrie hanging around, but we don't know who's gonna replace him.
Well, and it might be you're almost hoping for a replacement at that point, because Kyrie could be a guy who plays like 4 or 5 minutes. Yeah, and then just sits if he actually is in the game. And that's even scarier yet, because he probably won't even get a shot up, maybe one.
We got LaMarcus Aldridge. Let's make sure we got the right people out here. We got Ben Simmons left. We got Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade might be a sneaky pick there, Tyler. I'm watching you.
I'm thinking that both those guys might be sneaky picks, just in the sense that they basically made the spot especially for them. So you got to think people are going to feed him the ball, let him hit a couple shots.
Yeah, I think that there's a chance that Dwayne Wade outscores at least 2 actual All-Stars. And one of those All-Stars might be Chris Middleton, who's still available. Obviously, we got Dirk still hanging out. D'Angelo Russell in his very first All-Star game. And
lots of first-time All-Stars left, right?
Vujovic.
Or first-time All-Stars left.
Our boy Vujovic. So I'm looking at this list. There's 2 types of guys who get off on these games. Guys who can hit threes and guys who like to dunk. I only see one guy here. Actually, I see 2 guys here. Well, I don't know which way you're going to go, Tyler. Well, we got the teams. They're evened out. We pretty much know who's on each team. But I think there's a little bit more playing time available on one of these teams. And I think that team would be the Team LeBron. And I know a guy on Team LeBron that really likes to dunk the ball. He's a first-time All-Star. He was the 2018 Kia Rookie of the Year. His name is Ben Simmons.
Big mistake, because you wanted Dwayne Wade right there. That's the man you should have taken, because that's the man I want. Because Dwayne is it's LeBron, man. Him and LeBron's gonna be feeding Dwayne.
Can Dwayne Wade still dunk?
I don't know, but it doesn't matter, man.
I saw him dunk in a game recently.
He's gonna feed Dwayne for 10 shots, and at this point, man, getting 10 shots feels pretty good.
All right, you're taking Dwayne Wade.
I'm gonna take Mr. Dwayne Wade.
Wow. Dwayne Wade ahead of all these players.
Have work on this team, brother. I'm telling you, man, those guys are going to shoot. They're going to shoot.
Well, I am going to go with a guy who shoots threes. So I'm going threes and dunks. That's all you got to do when you are playing this game, even though I've lost multiple times to you, Tyler. I figured out the solution. It's threes and it's dunks.
Well, see, you got Steph Curry. That was my strategy the last couple of years, was just get Steph Curry and figure out the rest later.
Yeah, don't worry about it. That's your strategy in regular fantasy. But this player here, he is averaging almost 3 3-pointers a game. He's going to come out chucking. His name's D'Angelo Russell, first-time All-Star. Shout out to D'Angelo Russell. Get yours, son.
So I think at this point, it's the time. I got to pick Kyrie Irving, and I think it was even right before D'Angelo Russell was the time to do it, because if he gets replaced by somebody and that somebody has to start, you got to feel like there's some shots there. Probably
I don't think someone has to start. We don't know that.
But even still, if he gets replaced, somebody's going to play some.
So he's got to come out of the East, though. I think that's the issue. Who's coming out of the East to replace Kyrie Irving?
Well, let's see here. But the option.
Turner?
I don't know. Does it have to be a guard?
Does it have to be a guard? I don't think it has to be a guard. Zach LaVine? Nope.
That's gonna be ugly.
Yeah. Who in the East is going to come out and replace him? D'Angelo it made perfect sense. I don't know if there is another All-Star in the East, though.
Let's see here. I'm gonna look at some voting here. We're gonna see what we can find.
Go check out that voting. And while you are checking out that voting with your Kyrie Irving pick, which honestly, hey, if Kyrie Irving's completely healthy, that is the steal of the draft. But I think we both know he is either if he's not playing right now, he's not going to play in the All-Star game, and he is not playing right now. So Kyrie Irving is left, and so now I'm kind of looking around, and I have to go with my strategy with the last 3 guys left here: threes and dunks. Well, LaMarcus Aldridge can't dunk. Dirk hasn't dunked in a long time, but he hits threes. Vujovic doesn't
There's
really
4
dunk.
guys left there, JV. Come on now, get your
left?
stories. I'm not telling you. I don't want you to know. I'm hoping you mess this up.
No. Time out. You got Middleton. Oh yeah, we got 4. I'm looking at it wrong. You got Middleton, LaMarcus, Dirk, and Vujovic left. And I mean, at this point, I think it's a true toss-up. Ooh. I don't want any of these guys, to be honest.
I'll take all 4 then, sure.
It's not how that's going to work. The problem is if I take one of these guys, you're taking the other one, and vice versa. There's two guys who are obviously bottom of the barrel guys. I'm going to go with Chris Middleton.
Okay.
He's going to shoot threes. I'm going with my strategy. Threes and dunks. He can do both.
Oh, man. I was hoping you would leave me Chris Middleton. Leave me a shred of dignity and hope.
No, none. You get none. And you get whoever replaces Kyrie.
I don't know. I don't feel that bad about it. I don't feel that bad about that one. I still feel like it was the right time to make that move.
I agree.
So one of these guys has made the All-Star game a ton and never scores a damn point.
I know who you're talking about.
I don't know if you realize this, but one of these guys has a notorious for that. So then we got the 14-time All-Star who can barely play a minute on his actual team. Or we got the first-time All-Star in Vujovic. Now, man, this is difficult. This is very, very difficult.
Vujovic has been hitting threes this year, so he does meet the criteria of threes and dunks.
Man, I'm gonna have to go with them. And now, really, this part gets wild because I've got some really fun stats on these last 2 guys. If you would like to hear them,
so you're gonna go with Vooch, huh?
Yes.
All right. Well, actually, that makes my job a lot easier because you made the very similar argument many. Well, no, I guess it was only a few rounds ago. They're going to be feeding these legends the ball. Dirk Nowitzki is going to get some shots off. He might score 9, and I guarantee you that's more than LaMarcus Aldridge scores. I'm going with the man himself, the legend, one of the greatest of all time, Dirk Nowitzki.
Okay, so Dirk has played in how many All-Star games, Michael?
I'm looking at it right now. He's playing in 14 All-Star.
Well, this is going to be his 14th. He's played in 13.
Oh, okay,
you want to guess how many points he has in the 13 All-Star games?
I don't think it's a whole lot, but I'm gonna in 13. So I have to do the math.
So if he scored 10 a game, that would be 130.
I'm gonna go with 175.
113.
Ooh, that is not good.
His last 4 All-Star games, he scored 6, 7, 0, and 5.
That's not great.
Yeah. And if you take out a 22-point All-Star game he had back in 2010, the most he had ever scored other than that is 13. And he's got 2, 4, 6, 8 times that he scored less than 10 points.
That isn't pleasant.
But the man I get is the only guy who's worse in the All-Star game, who in 6 All-Star games has scored a grand total of 30 points or 5 points a game. He's been shut out in 2 All-Star games. If you take away his 18 points he scored in 2015, he has scored a combined in 5 All-Star games, a combined 12 points.
That is embarrassing.
So I am going to rely on the other men on my roster, and LaMarcus Aldridge will sit on the bench and wave his towel. He is my official, what's that guy? Robert Sacre. That's it. He's the Robert Sacre of my All-Star team.
Human cigar coming in at the end of the bench. You've either won or lost when you see LaMarcus Aldridge coming out of the All-Star game.
But here's the thing. And maybe this was the only reason that Aldridge was a better pick than Dirk. Dirk is playing 10 minutes a game for the Mavs this season.
10 minutes. That's all that Dirk needs is 10 minutes.
And for the first time ever, Dirk is struggling very, very mightily with his shot.
You know what? The moment will lift him, Tyler. I am not worried about it.
I wouldn't be surprised if he hits a couple threes. I really wouldn't. And
yeah, they're going to feed him the ball. They're not going to guard him.
1-3 probably beats LaMarcus Aldridge. So I feel like you got me on that pick.
Yeah, I think I have a very, very good team here. I got Giannis going with my dunks and 3 strategy. You got Giannis, you got Harden, Curry, and Paul George. Russ, who's a psychopath. Kawhi Leonard, who's a starter. Cat Daddy, who can dunk. Blake Griffin, who can dunk. Kimba, who's a starter and shoots threes. Ben Simmons, who can dunk. D'Angelo Russell, who can hit threes. Chris Middleton, who can hit threes. And Dirk Nowitzki, who can hit threes. That's pretty good, Tyler. And you have a pretty good dunk crew, though. Like, you got a hardcore dunk crew here at the beginning. You got LeBron and Embiid.
I honestly think Embiid may lead the game in scoring just because unless LeBron's going to sub early, there's nobody guarding Joel Embiid on that team.
Well, yeah, there's nobody guarding him, and there's no one really playing any defense for their first 3.5 quarters anyway. And a lot of the points come from dunks in this game. People want to see cool dunks. Embiid likes to impress, and that was a great pick. Joel Embiid is a great pick there. Embiid at 2. You got KD and AD, so AD dunking the ball over everybody. Hopefully he plays meaningful minutes. And then you went with Dame and Clay, so you got your threes. Then we went with Jokic. All right, I like that. He's a versatile guy. You got Beal and Lowry, Wade, and whoever's replacing Kyrie Irving, and Vujovic and one of the worst All-Stars of all time, LaMarcus Aldridge.
So what's going to be hilarious is when I beat you by however many points LaMarcus Aldridge scores.
That will be very depressing when LaMarcus Aldridge is a factor in this game.
He's going to score 4, and I'm going to beat you by exactly 3. I'm calling it.
Great. I can't wait. But I really actually cannot wait for the All-Star game, the All-Star break, the All-Star weekend. The entire weekend is a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed out there. I hope you've been enjoying the show. Shout out to all of our Patreons on patreon.com/watchingtheboxes. You guys have helped us out so much this year. We really, really appreciate it.
Before we go, you got to make your picks on the 3 Saturday night main event items.
Oh, we almost forgot to pick the main event items.
We got to do it. We got to make the picks.
Right. We are going to do that. The skills contest, the 3-point contest.
I feel like the skills might be my favorite one now.
I love the skills competition.
That one might be my favorite.
All right, how about this? We each get in the skills competition. We get two picks. What do you think about that?
All right, I'm game for this.
All right,
let's go.
You went first, or I went first last time. You go first this time.
I
know who you're going to pick in the skills competition as well.
Oh, do you? You know who I'm going to pick?
I know exactly who you're going to pick.
Who do you think I'm going to pick?
His name is Luka Doncic.
Ah, Michael, you know me too well. There's another guy I really, really want, so I'm kind of debating if I should pick him first and hope you don't pick Luka, but
I am not the Atlanta Hawks. Luka Doncic is not coming. I'm not the Sacramento Kings either. Luka Doncic is not falling to number 3.
But here's the other thing, and here's the thing that might hold Luka back in the skills, right? There's usually some sort of like running portion of this, and he's not the fastest person in the world.
He's not the fastest guy in the world. You're right. DeMarcus Cousins almost won the skill competition the other year. I think he might have won the skills competition.
I'm always going to bet on Luka in the skills because I feel like maybe nobody more skilled or played basketball since they came out of the womb like Luka Doncic.
I love it. I love that pick. I'm going to go with a young gun, someone who is dying to make a kind of his mark maybe on the weekend. De'Aaron Fox, who's having a very, very good year.
And see, that's with my speed pick. That's sneaky. That's where I was going to go with this.
Yeah,
right? He's fast. Quick. But you got to I am going to go with a big man. And
okay,
that might seem a little strange.
I like it. I like it. I like that. I was thinking that way.
I am going to go with Nikola Jokic. I just feel like man, maybe he might do it.
The jokester. All right, I'm between two guys, Tyler. One of these guys is kind of an all-around versatile, pretty good young player. His name's Jason Tatum. The other guy is a wily vet named Mike Conley. And you know what? Sometimes the vets just know what to fucking do. And that's why I'm going to go. And I want to give a shout out to Mike Conley, who should be in this All-Star game. He should be replacing Kyrie Irving. Mike Conley, an underrated player, I think. It is a shame he's not in this All-Star game.
Yeah, and he just kind of never gets his real All-Star due, and that's disappointing.
He never does. It's a fucking tragedy, Tyler. All right. Now, up next, do you want to do two people for the 3-point contest?
Oh, of course. But I definitely get to pick first in this, right?
Oh, I don't know. You know what? I'll let you go. It's a little unfair to let you go first, but I'll let you go first.
Yeah, so there's no question on who I'm going to pick, right?
Sure.
I mean, it's got to be Steph. I just don't know that there's ever been a better shooter than Steph Curry, and there may never be one after him. So, yeah, if you're going to go 3-pointers, you got to go with Curry.
Yeah, Steph Curry. Steph Curry. No, I'm not going with him.
It is in their home state, right? So,
yeah, I mean, there's a good chance, and that's why I'm glad I got him in the All-Star game. There's a good chance Steph's going to go for gold.
Now it gets interesting, though, because, after Curry, there's 3 or 4 really fun, really kind of standout names, in my personal opinion.
Really good players still in there. This guy is, I believe he's won before. I think he is healthy. I might regret taking him. Devin Booker.
Oh, no, that's a great pick. I'm going to counter with Damian Lillard. Just an underrated shooter, I think.
Going with the vets.
There's a sneak tip pick here, and I think you're probably going to make it.
I don't know.
Who may be my personal favorite to if I was going to bet on this. I would assume
Joe
he has
Harris?
No, definitely not. I would assume this guy has somewhat long of odds, but is a really, really good 3-point shooter.
Is Joe Harris shooting well this year?
Joe Harris has always shot well, man. Joe Harris is, I believe, over 40% for his career. I'll have to look that up right now.
I want to go with Joe Harris just to make it fun, but that's not who I was looking at. I was actually thinking about taking this guy first. His name is Buddy Hield.
Joe Harris for his career, 41.5%. And Hield's the guy I was talking about. Hield is a phenomenal 3-point shooter.
Yes, he is good. He's I like having De'Aaron Fox and Buddy Hield in my skills.
42.6% for his career on 3 points for Mr. Buddy Hield. 45% this season.
All right. I like it. Now on to the dunk contest. You only get one here. Well, I don't know. We can do two.
Because that way somebody definitely gets the win in this, which could be important if it's tied. And for some reason, 2 of the guys we didn't pick win the other 2. Right? We got to have some sort of tiebreaker. So it will come down to this. Because there's only 4 people, right? So you definitely get the winner. I feel like there's really only 2 guys that can win this, though.
This is a tough one. They're all young dudes. Is this your first pick, or do I get the first pick finally?
I feel like we got to even it out. So I'll let you have the first pick.
All right. I think this is an old tried and true.
See, to me, this is a real toss-up on who to go with first. It's a true toss-up. But I feel like
but there's a tried and true trick to the dunk contest. Short guys end up looking better. And that's why I'm going to go with Dennis Smith Jr. The guy
And
can jump out the damn gym.
after his fail last year, right? He hit the perfect dunk, and he still didn't make it onto the second round.
Yeah, absolute trash.
He's hungry to win it. I'm gonna go for Miles Bridges. I feel like Bridges just crazy dunker too, and I feel like it's really between those two to win it. I don't feel like the other two can really win it, but it's the dunk contest, so you never know.
Yeah, I don't know. It really is always a huge random toss up who could do it. John Collins is crazy athletic. I think he's been putting in some work on this dunk contest. I think I've seen the occasional video out there, but man, Diallo is kind of nuts athletically. I'm going with Diallo, man. I'm going with Diallo. I like the underdog.
All right,
I'm not gonna get first or last, man.
If honestly, I would have taken Diallo over Collins too. I just don't think Collins has the
jump.
Like, yeah, well, yeah, those tall guys have a hard time doing the crazy like between the legs stuff. Right? Like if you remember,
he's been practicing.
If you remember, like Dwight Howard when he won, he would always just be like jumping over stuff. Like it wouldn't be like he was like throwing it between the legs and doing all that craziness. So I feel like John Collins may be at a little disadvantage here, but I'll rock him. It's a dunk contest. You never know.
All right. Well, you got him, whether you like him or not. I think that's pretty solid. Like I said, everybody, we really appreciate you listening. And we are going to be obviously online watching the dunk contest, watching the All-Star game. So feel free to, interact with us, hit us up, talk shit. We're probably gonna be talking shit to each other online. You can find me at Watch the Boxes. You can find Tyler at Tyler P. Watts. Hey, hit us up on Twitter during the All-Star break, and I want everybody out there to enjoy their All-Star break. It's going to be a fun one, and we'll see you after the break. Thanks, everybody.